What's up, Geek family? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Alamo City Geek Speak. It's been a long time coming. Today we're talking about Overwatch fans getting the butt end of a terrible joke. Steam Dad, who apparently paid more than $1,300 on Steam games that he didn't actually buy. I went to WrestleMania. It was amazing. And then we talk about the division and whether or not it's getting, a little bit stale. I can tell you that it's not because it's been a good 2 weeks. Plus, we're talking about Star Wars coming out on BluRay, Game of Thrones and Silicon Valley coming back, and questionable map packs DLC for Doom. All this and more on this episode of Alamo City Geek Speak.
Yeah, we came back. We are back. We are back. Not live, but alive. That's important.
How alive are you?
I'm pretty alive. As opposed to an undead person, I'm quite the opposite. I am undead.
I have about 3.5 hearts left. I'm not doing so hot.
You don't sound too hot.
But we will prevail. Persevere?
Persevere.
We'll do a P word.
Persevere sounds cooler.
Will prevail. Yeah, well, you know what? I got no other P words that are appropriate in this sentence. So yeah, no, it's been a long time since we've been back. It's been
an absurdly long time.
1 week since you looked at me. No.
Oh, God.
Oh, taking that
naked
back.
ladies
Bare naked
right
ladies.
out of the home stretch.
Right out.
Out of the gate. Out of the gate.
All we need is Billy Crystal, and yeah, you're just completing the shit package.
You know what? If I wasn't so just ready to just talk about what we've been doing, I would totally hit you guys with Billy Crystal. Who knows? The night is still young. Maybe it's gonna happen. Maybe it won't. It just totally happened there. Okay. So anyway,
You can all go home now.
everyone can turn it off. You have a
Yeah.
good time.
Sorry, guys.
So, because of the fact we haven't been together probably 3 weeks or so.
It's been a little bit longer than that.
It's been a while. We've been up to some, I'd like to say, good stuff.
Hijinks?
Hijinks, no good. All that
Chicanery?
fun stuff. Chicanery. General haberdashery. Except I'm not making hats.
Chicanery in my case, and also habanerory
Habanero?
in my case as well.
He's making hats out of peppers.
And then tamalery as well.
Well, then, why don't you tell us about this habanerory and tamalery and let us know what's going on in your life?
Holy shit, it's been, maybe like a month since, maybe almost 2 months since the KI cast. And then I haven't been on an episode since then. Lots of gone-ons, actually. Lots of gone-ons,
Going down.
the thingies, going things. Anyway, I went to WrestleMania over the weekend. That was the thing.
Oh, we're going to talk so much
Yeah,
about
we're
that.
going to talk about that a little bit later.
That was the first time me and Justin have watched a wrestling event on TV in God knows how many years. And I got to say, some parts of it made us feel like we were watching the Attitude Era again, and you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. We're going to get to that when we get to that discussion. That was amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of the Division, whole lot of the Division. I think we all have pretty much have gotten to that point where we're just kind of like, okay, we've got everything. What's next? What else have I been doing? Fuck, man. I saw a bunch of movies in my time off. Finally got around to going and seeing 10 Cloverfield Lane. I haven't seen Batman vs. Superman. I have no interest in doing that.
You have no fucking reason to.
No fucking reason to see that movie.
Maybe one Affleck reason, but that's about it.
No, not even. No, because I hate Ben Affleck.
What?
Yeah.
We'll
Get out of
discuss
my
that in a
house.
minute then.
Don't like Ben Affleck.
You sit on the floor.
And I guess not really doing anything other than working and then like following this diet. I'm officially 80 pounds lighter than I was.
Yeah.
Give you
Yeah.
a clap right there.
So
Not
thank
the
you.
clap, but a clap.
Yeah. So I mean, it's safe to say that Pete has never looked better.
I can attest to that.
But Peter's tired. He is tired.
Peter's tired. A little bit of innuendo there.
A little bit of innuendo in there, yeah. But yeah, that's all I've been doing. And then I guess working, because that's a normal fucking everyday thing everybody does.
Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
we have to say we have to do that.
Everybody has to do that. Unless you're a kid, then, I mean, you're probably not
Hold
working.
on to that childhood for dear life.
Don't let go of your... Don't lose your dinosaur.
Don't lose your dinosaur, seriously. You lose your dinosaur, then you lose your meaning for life. But enough of making you sad. Brandon, what have you been doing? Besides wearing glasses making you look super hipster right now.
and getting a haircut.
Thank you. I cut my hair.
You know, he looks like if they were to remake the movie That Thing You Do, like he'd be the drummer. Don't fucking do that to me.
I just peered down over my glasses and adjusted.
That's right.
Yes, since last we aired this podcast, I got my hair cut, which if any of you that know me know it's a big fucking deal because I feel like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America when he's like, I've been growing it since birth, you know? It felt like that.
You've been growing it since you got out of high school.
It's for the past 10 years, which makes me feel old.
Yeah.
But yeah, for 10 years I've been growing my hair. Never had it shorter than my shoulders because I did cut it one time in like 2012, 2011, something like that. But this is the first time I've had hair this short since high school. It feels kind of weird. Feels kind of good. But, you know, it's all in the natural progression of things. It's time to let some shit go and, you know, whatever. Let me see what else. Really just working, preparing for this whole fatherhood role, which now is about 4.5 months away. We're about halfway through now.
Holy crap.
And we will be revealing the gender next Saturday.
Sweet.
So that's
Do
everybody
you know
out
the
there.
gender?
We don't know. That's the thing.
So you gotta find out.
She went to the doctor and they wrote it down and we sent it to my cousin who's planning this big party. And yeah, so we don't know. None of us know, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Everyone just give me lots of good juju. It's gonna be a boy, right?
It's gonna be a boy.
It's gonna be a boy.
It has
It has to be.
I need a little progeny. Is what I need.
Why? So you can play bass and piss you off? It's like, what I tell you about... Brandon used to tell me this shit. It used to make me feel bad. It's always saying stuff like...
bassists are failed guitarists.
Yeah, but then also...
is a joke because there are a lot of bassists out there who are like incredibly good. And it does take talent unless you're just playing bass in like Sum 41. That takes no talent.
Oh yeah, that takes no talent.
But to play shit like Geddy Lee plays, to play shit like Cliff Burton played, you know, that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I just want to see you tell your son or daughter that bassists are failed guitarists. Watch the tears well up in their eyes, and you will no longer be that golden hero in the sky to them.
If they play bass, it's gonna be a 5-string. Damn it!
It's educating. It's not really putting them down.
Teach you to play a 6-string bass like they would a guitar.
Yeah,
builds character
and calluses,
and lots of calluses.
And other than that, just fighting this. Hopefully not bronchitis or strep throat, but hopefully just infection, this sinus infection probably.
Well, you're kissing too many boys.
Yeah, so I was sick, and that's why we couldn't. That's why I couldn't record the last time because I was super fucking sick.
But you were like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm sick.
Yeah,
I can't do anything today."
It was pretty shitty, man. Like, cause like I had like a constant fever pretty much for like 4 days.
I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's the word. No, I haven't had a fever. Thank God. Like that's the one thing I checked for today because if I had a fever, probably meant full blown bronchitis, and I didn't want that shit. I needed healthy.
No. It fucking blew, and
get that doctor stuff.
It blew out both ends of you.
Oh come on!
Yeah,
nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, I was pretty sick. The chicanery comes back again.
Stop talking about Chicanos and Chicanos.
Goddamn.
And I got around to watching One Punch Man because Justin told me that it was actually really good. And Justin doesn't like any anime.
I hate anime.
You're wearing a One Punch Man shirt right
I know.
now.
It's weird. And what's really funny is
you only watched it mostly to just to spite Jared.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so hi guys, I've been fine.
Hello.
Oh yeah, natural segue.
So natural segue. Yeah.
So the biggest reason why I actually did anything with One Punch Man is because first of all, I woke up. I stayed the night at Jared's house because we stayed up all night watching movies and playing video games, stuff like that. You know, normal. I got no life on Saturday night kind of thing. So we stayed up, played some video games. I went to bed. I woke up, and they were watching One Piece. And I was just dogging on this shit. I was like, fuck One Piece. This stuff sucks.
Dude, I love One Piece.
Did you say this stuff is sucks?
This stuff is sucks. Well, because like, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. It's like, there's one guy who's a skeleton who kind of reminds me a little bit of like Slash or like Jimi Hendrix because he's all groovy and shit. And there's another zombie who's not a zombie, but he is a zombie. There's a pirate who's a zombie. It's weird shit. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. And there's also there was one episode where they were fighting a whale. I don't get it.
You gotta watch it from the beginning to like actually see the genius of it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and skip past that asinine comment. And so I was like, fuck this show. Put it on One Punch Man. And I just wanted to see him do it. And then, he's like, well, I can't watch it through browser, so And then Steven, thank God for Steven, he's like, well, they have it on Hulu. And I'm like, yes! Put it on One Punch Man just to watch him squirm. And it turned out it was like one of the better animes I've ever seen.
The better animes. Out of how many?
Out of probably like 4 or 5.
He saw Gantz. He saw some of Black.
I used to watch anime back in the day.
Gantz is good.
Gantz is really good.
We used to watch anime back in the day with like Dragon Ball Z.
No, it's only because of Dragon Ball Z and stuff. But Hunter is really the one that he's like, hey, watch these weird things. Like right
Black
now,
Lagoon.
He let me borrow Bludgeoning Angel Dokuro-chan.
Oh yeah,
It was really fucking good. I had Jared watch it.
We did the chant like every single day after Jared saw it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
This show at the same time that we were trolling Jared with the fucking let me borrow your Thunder Fury Blessed Blanket of the Windsing.
Man, yeah, he was fucking heated after that.
And then he started doing the.
And then he started doing the Dokuro chant and the PPPPPP.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like, I think the reason why it's so hard for me to watch anime is because it's all stupid, right? And then listen to me here. Listen.
It's a blanket response.
Listen to me here, okay? Things are gonna change. Just hold on, and you'll see the difference. All right? It's like that goddamn shit that what's his face? Billy Mays used to sell. Billy Mays would sell this stuff, OxyClean. You throw dirty stuff in, it comes out clean. Don't worry, here comes verbal OxyClean for you.
All right, let's hear it.
So I hate anime because it's all stupid, right? And then I watched One Punch Man, and One Punch Man did something for me. And what it did is it showed me, first of all, not all anime is stupid. Okay? And second of all, it showed me that there are some series out there that do not take themselves so seriously to be all about, oh, I'm a fucking Titan. Don't talk shit about Titan.
No, that's exactly why I loved One Punch Man so much, is because it had that, and they'd be all like, oh, I'm this big badass guy. He's just like, okay.
That's it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the show, it almost actively made fun of other animes, or made fun of its own type, its own. So
kind of like what Fully Cooley did back in the 90s or 2000s.
Like I remember watching a few episodes of Furry Curry, or
it was an excellent show.
Well, how the fuck are you supposed to say it? I don't know.
FLCL,
FLCL, sir.
Furry Curry, whatever. Seriously though, back in the day, all I watched was Dragon Ball Z. You were there. You were
Gundam Wing
and Gundam Wing, and then
which
Endless
by
Walls.
the way, watch Gurren Lagann. Because it's just really good.
Can't do it.
Can't do it? Really?
Can't do it. Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it now just because he says he can't do it.
Can't fucking.
Maybe I'm one of those guys who's revenge watching anime. Someone's like, I don't like it, and then I'm like, well, what do you like? And he's like, well, I like One Piece and like fucking Attack on Titan. It's like, don't talk shit about Attack on Titan, man. It's alright.
Hey man, One Piece is pretty good though.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop this anime argument before you start throwing Rasengan at me.
No, I can't do Naruto either. I fucking hate that show.
I can't do it.
Or Bleach.
Or Inuyasha.
Death Note. Actually, I like Inuyasha only for that one episode. There's a little flea that's like a pervert, and he bites you and he makes you into pervert also. So Inuyasha's, obviously the start of the show, he's like, this wolf thing.
Demon, right? He's a demon?
He's a demon. He's a demon, whatever. So, yeah, they got Shippo in there, who's like a little squirrel guy, a little fox dude. Like, he's like a little kid, right? Anyway, this fucker bites Inuyasha and then makes him fall in love with Shippo. So it's like super uncomfortable, like watching this like really old demon guy hit on this younger demon fox. But it was fucking hilarious.
What part of this whole conversation we've had so far did not strike you as stupid? I stand by my remarks about anime being stupid.
That is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen on an anime. And you have to watch it to just appreciate it. But you have to watch like 45 episodes before you can actually understand, like, oh, that's the relationship.
45 or 4 or 5?
Maybe 75, actually.
Fuck that,
wow,
man.
Yeah. That better be some payoff.
Yeah, I mean, no, but it's
to come out the other side and realize that you just been watching a TV show about a demon wolf who just can't get laid. I don't know.
Kagome's pretty cool.
Watch Dogs is pretty cool.
Oh, no.
Well, other than that, just to kind of round this up, I've been playing video games. Me playing a lot of Far Cry Primal. Too much of it, actually. I'm addicted to it. I love riding saber-tooth tigers and eating people. And then also playing Heroes of the Storm. I stopped playing The Division.
Did you go pick up Tuk Tuk on your fucking saber-tooth tiger?
Fuck is Tuk Tuk?
The guy from fucking Far Cry Primal we were talking about last time we talked about it. Remember, it was tuck, and then you go over there and you're like, ooh, ooh, and you like get in there.
I was like, that was fucking months ago.
That was months ago.
I don't remember all of that conversation because most of our conversations are fueled by.
It was the ooh, ooh, right? That brought it back.
Some kind of crazy mixture of energy drinks.
Yeah.
Well,
wait, so you're playing HOTS?
I am playing HOTS.
Well, fuck, man, I want to play some fucking HOTS.
You know
invite me
what?
to play fucking HOTS, but I'm really shitty at HOTS. So you'd probably get super heated.
No,
if I
dude,
played
seriously,
HOTS.
like, because they don't watch the show, I'm sure that I could say this. My roommates are still learning too, and I gotta tell you, sometimes, playing with anybody who's new on any kind of MOBA can make you irritated. Especially,
I'm gonna so play some Heroes of the Storm.
Fucking play
You
it,
should
Brandon.
definitely play some HOTS with us.
I'd be like, I'm just gonna go over here, guys, right?
Play the fucking objective. That's how I want to say all the time.
Well, that's what I say too. Like whenever somebody mentions HOTS, I'm like, play the fucking objectives, you mook.
Oh, this character looks cool.
What? That's the cool thing is you can literally play any characters because they look cool. Because chances are they're pretty good. They're all based on heroes from the Blizzard universes.
I want to play as Tracer.
I want to be Blastoise.
Oh, I want to play as Tracer. And you know what? We can always come back to this Heroes of the Storm. In fact, we should probably have an episode that's just about Heroes of the Storm. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen. We're bad at keeping our word. But the next thing we're going to talk about,
Or the last word.
the last word. Actually, I kept that
Destiny
one. I didn't
word?
get the season 2.
Nice.
Maybe I did get year 2.
Yeah, I got year 2 last word.
I got year 2.
How'd you like it year 2?
How did I?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
It was still a pistol.
Yeah, it was still a pistol. But I was using mostly just, at that point, pulse rifles in year 2.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just suddenly, like, bad juju. I started using it towards the end of year 1. I was like, man, this is fucking
have you guys seen the new update coming out this month for Destiny?
I have not. I haven't turned
It's
my...
pretty robust, actually.
I haven't turned my Xbox on in fucking months.
Yeah, I
Dude,
haven't
seriously,
either.
I looked at Destiny the other day and I said, what happened to you? And I could swear I saw the CD start crying, or BluRay, the disc. Anyway, so they're releasing this new update that gives you new, they're getting rid of, fucking, what did they say they're getting rid of? God damn it, now I'm all, not even paying attention.
Well, I know Prison of Elders is coming back.
They're bringing back Prison of Elders.
I may start playing again just for that.
They're getting rid of a lot of stuff and they're adding a lot of stuff, and one of the things they're adding is they're going to give you the opportunity to change like the hue or the chromatic color of your weapons and armor. So that's kind of
Oh,
cool.
so we just see a
Shaders.
bunch of people walking around with like names like X Hardcore X and their armor's all black.
Yeah.
So cool, guys.
No, here's
If you're
the thing.
16 playing Destiny, I want to be you.
If you're fucking shiny, everyone loves you, right? No, they're adding a lot of stuff, and we'll see how it turns out. But Destiny's still a fucking dead horse. Okay, so
Don't talk that way.
it's
about
got life in it. Fucking kill it again with your goddamn swords and shit.
It's like when Starscream's threw Megatron out of
It's like I still function. He's like, what a bed, and he throws him out the astral
I would totally outdo you right there on the Starscream, but my throat will not allow it at this moment.
I don't know about that, Brandon.
Okay, my Starscream's better than yours.
My Starscream is pretty good. Ow, my foot!
I just want to throw this out there too. I think it's funny that Astro Train in space that already had trajectory and like motion, like it already had.
Which it shouldn't, because you're supposed to just be like staged it.
Well, it's in space, so like once they had speed going forward, there's nothing to slow them down. But they say we need to jettison more weight, and it's like, no, you don't.
No, you
You're
don't.
in space. You're gonna make it. You're already going.
You get out and push if
Hit
you'd like
fucking
to.
70 miles an hour, and you're gonna go forever, baby.
But Megatron also ignores the laws of conservation of mass, so I guess you can't be too picky about your science.
Well,
and
he's a
Transformers.
robot. I
If
mean,
you turn into a-
Well,
everything
he
in
turns
his
into
life.
like a Luger.
If you turn
and then
into a
he's like,
gun,
haha, I'm a
you could-
full-size robot again. It's like, where did the rest of it go?
You know where it went there, Brandon? Hammer space.
Hammer space.
Inside the goddamn gun.
It's gotta be it.
So the first thing we're going to talk about today is this is actually kind of a trend we see amongst some developers.
Yeah.
And you don't see it often, but I say a trend because I feel it's going to start happening more. So Tracer in Overwatch had this really unique pose, and actually it wasn't even really all that unique in the first place.
I wouldn't call it that
It was
at
just
all.
her standing, looking over her shoulder, and her butt was pretty much mid-picture.
Right.
Now, the problem with this is one person came forward and said, this character who's not sexy at all, and I'm sure she's saying, thanks. Yeah, thanks. I just want to be, just one of the guys. Because have you ever told a girl she's not like a girl? She's more like one of the guys? They get pissed. Don't do it.
No, I've never been a sexist pig. So
I'm just saying.
Congrats.
thank you.
Whatever. Anyway, so they didn't like her because the way she was standing. the person said that it was too sexy.
Right.
It was out of character. This one post started a conversation, quote unquote, and that conversation led into Blizzard saying, "All right, we'll change it." Almost not even really asking questions or anything. They just said, "Yeah, we're gonna change it. We want everyone to enjoy the game."
Yeah, they said they wanted a more inclusive fan base for this game,
And this
which I guess they couldn't. I guess they couldn't fix Kerrigan's bust size within StarCraft 2, or the fact that she's practically naked the entire time, or the fact that you have Asmodan with those pierced nipples in Diablo 3. But God forbid.
Oh, what about Bayonetta, whose entire outfit is her hair?
We're talking about Blizzard here.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were just talking.
What about what about Nova from StarCraft? She's way too dressed up. If we just go the same argument, too sexy.
Well, she's way underdressed if you look at it that way.
When she's
they put her in a cat suit. I mean, like, come on, Tychus has that entire whole big ass body armor, and then you put Nova in a tight ass cat suit.
That kind of makes sense. You know what? Now that you say that, no, I'm gonna say it makes sense.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
But,
so I mean, what was the big idea of with
the
the
big
pose?
problem was I can't say everyone, just a few people for sure were like, change it because we don't like the fact that we feel uncomfortable looking at our goddamn TV screen popping boners of this fucking video game.
Seems a little asinine to me.
It does, right?
And I think the real butt of the problem is that nobody can really find a cheek to lay on. I'm sorry.
You done with these butt puns?
I'm starting up again. So
So basically they came back and said we're gonna change it. So recently they posted a picture of Tracer.
an arguably more sexy pose.
Yeah, it's actually posed after a pinup girl.
A pinup girl, yeah. Which actually, I mean, I guess if you want to look at it in a ironic hipster way, is more appropriate for the character.
It is because she kind of comes off as that kind of hipster kind of person,
Right.
right?
Like
But-
listens to like Elvis records and
Yeah, and fucking like,
drives a Bel Air or something.
and throws cats out of her door saying Wilma.
More than likely, she.
It's fucking Flintstones. That's
Wow.
pretty hipster.
More than likely, a more of a Clash listener.
Oh.
Her being British and all, or maybe Australian.
By the way, did you watch the Widowmaker video?
I didn't see the Widowmaker video, but I mean, they were actually giving comparisons to her and Widowmaker, and they're just like, hey, Widowmaker's, sexy.
She's a femme fatale.
She's a
Yeah.
femme fatale, bro. You know what? Why can't Tracer be kind of sexy or even?
Well,
like,
you know what the
a
problem
little
was is
menacing?
because Tracer, and this is just what I think the problem was, is Tracer kind of has that fun kind of feel to her.
She's the Mickey Mouse of
and
Overwatch.
she's like a fucking child. So
Yeah.
I think people are like, oh, that's weird to see this person who was lively and sprightly. I get to see her butt like in the perfect sense. So it's like, I get it, but at the same time, like this whole pinup pose, knowing where they got the pose, because they posted a picture, not Blizzard, but some other group of people. They posted the picture of the pinup and posted Tracer's stance side by side, and it is almost exactly the same.
Right.
And they probably changed a few things to make sure they didn't get any kind of licensing issues
Well,
or any kind of.
This is almost like the same thing of like you guys remember maybe a month or two ago when they had like that Amazing Spider-Man like alternate cover. It was like a gender bent
Oh my
Spider-Man.
God.
I
Yeah.
do remember that, yeah.
And then people were like, "Oh, you wouldn't make a man pose that way."
Oh,
but
no,
like
that
there
was-
was a spider. It was like an exact copy.
That was
almost.
Spider-Woman. That was an actual comic book.
That was Spider-Woman.
Yeah, but it was like the alt art version of it, like to.
Yeah,
kinda,
she was kind of sitting there in like her. It was in her crotch, or it was her.
No, it was
bust
like
was
yeah,
in the way?
her,
It was her-
Her butt was like
it
way
was
up in
her
the air,
butt.
like
It
she
was
was
It was her
falling
butt.
forward.
Yeah, it was her ass.
Again,
yeah.
it's another ass gate.
Right.
But like there was an exact. It was almost exactly like one of the Spider-Man covers before.
And then
it,
also
in the same exact way, and they're like, "Well, clothes wouldn't fit that way." It's like nobody cares. It's a comic book.
like
Like
thousands of other
anything with like Wolverine or Spider-Man, you can see every single muscle, as ridiculous as it may be,
Including their bulge.
It's like they put that suit on and then they put one of those vacuum seal tubes in there and like just suck all the air out.
And like, hey, you're good to go. Go
What
for
about
it.
all this shit with
Go
like
fight Magneto.
We can store you
whenever
under
like
the bed. now.
Spider-Man like crouches down, holding up the earth or something shit, and you see one of his balls poking out of his suit? Like it's.
I mean, it's got to be anatomical.
It's seriously though.
He's
I'm just
not
saying,
genderless.
like exactly. I don't know. It's stupid, dude. This whole thing about like censor the way they look in video games, especially in video games. I don't think that Overwatch got an E for everyone, did it? So
I'm pretty sure it didn't.
it
but,
got at
you
least
know,
like a PG-13.
at least a teen.
Like a teen. There you go.
PG-13.
PG-13 teen, same goddamn thing, bro.
So do the ESRB rating scale.
Wow.
Oh, they gotta be a little touchy about the game.
That's a good
Actually,
Marlon
technically-
Brando impression.
Giving the stuff like that was still.
You guys are on point with that, yeah.
So
I've never been that nerd.
really, what the big problem is the fact that not so much having to tone down this sexual nature of video games. It's this whole goddamn Tumblr nation we have going on, where everyone's getting offended by everything.
We all agreed that Tumblr was the cesspool of the internet, as like my brother liked to put it, as he explained Tumblr to me over the weekend. Because I've been on Tumblr, but I'd never actually been on
Oh no,
Tumblr.
I went to Tumblr, and there's some things you cannot unsee.
Yeah, there's some things on Tumblr that you would never show anybody else, even living, you know. No, she liked to call it the ancestral cousin of 4chan's B. You ever been on B?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. That is bad. So,
Yeah, but on B, everyone knows they're fucked up.
everybody knows they're fucked up on
And they
B.
acknowledge it.
100% of people on Tumblr actually believe in this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No.
so that makes them more dangerous
No,
than
because
Tom,
they're
than
full of
Ted Cruz.
They're full of enablers.
Yeah.
It's all it is because it's a safe space, you know. And it's not to say every single thing on Tumblr is bad. It's where all the social justice warriors do come from. I think they stem a lot from that. But I mean, I've seen actual, legitimately funny things come from Tumblr. We've all seen them on Facebook.
Well,
I enjoy Tumblr, I guess, for that, you know, for the little things, you know,
Well, I
like
think it's like Reddit. People on there sometimes are very clever.
Game of Thrones memes.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I think it's a place where they sit down and you're right. They just go nom 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 on all the. Yeah, you're right. You should say that more often.
You
know,
you be you.
just did I say or do anything to make you feel like less you? You know, so they get all that shit and they take it out in the actual internet where real kids play, and they just brainwash these kids. This is the same thing. This is the same problem. The fact of the matter is, you don't have to fucking play the game, and a developer shouldn't have to change things. I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast, but I obviously I don't like it when developers change shit because it shows zero backbone. When EA changed the end to fucking Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3.
Granted, the ending was bullshit.
I mean, I was okay
Stick
with
to your
that.
But yeah, it's like but at one time, that was exactly what they wanted. That ending was their vision.
Right.
And then it comes out, people don't like it, and they go, okay, we'll change it to fit your paradigm. You know, or not your paradigm, your vision of what it should be, rather than ours.
Batman vs Superman is a bullshit movie, right? But I guarantee that Zack Snyder is not going to listen to anyone saying, "We demand a rewrite. It should have ended this way." No one gives a fuck, dude. You know, why do game developers have to put up with that? Chances are, this dickhole's going to play the game one time, maybe play through it twice so you can see Garrus's alternate ending, and then never play it again. So the fact of the matter is, like, what does it matter to you? It shouldn't, because it's someone else's vision.
Right.
People hate it when people critique what they do, and they will froth the mouth and vehemently argue their point. But God forbid.
There's some to be said on either side, because as a fan of a series, yes, you expect things to be a certain way because, you know, these are characters that you've grown to love and everything like that. But being that it is intellectual property of this company, in this case EA for Mass Effect 3, they have to, you know, they'll come out with what they wanted to.
Right.
There's always a certain amount of fan service, but never make it, because when the entire thing is fan service, like you get movies like Star Wars or like Force Awakens. I love Force Awakens, but how much of that movie were you just like eye rolling, like, all right, we get it, parsecs, you know,
Too
many
much.
times,
Too
right?
many times.
They threw way too many of those in there
Frequently.
that, you know, was just really to make that one guy in the audience go, woo, he said it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it was literally that one guy who's like already like in his 40s or 50s. He's like, oh my god, I remember this when I was a kid.
Well, I mean, let's be honest.
He had a
though, I
voice
mean,
like that.
yeah,
right?
there were some things that I saw in the movie, and I said the same thing. But the fact of the matter is,
Like, we get it. It's the Death Star.
there were legitimate reasons to say that. Not like, oh, hey, oh my God, it's Han Solo. It's Han Solo. I haven't seen him forever. Great. I'm glad Han Solo was in there. But some of the jokes, some of the things they went back to the back of the Han Solo and Chewie's banter, for example. That was kind of a throwback already.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nod to it, but they didn't make like a direct reference. He never said
Exactly.
like, I don't care what you smell, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. If he would have said that, I would have gotten up and walked out. I would have been like,
But what he says, I don't care what it smells like.
yeah, I would just, and just get it. Yeah, like, all I'm saying is like it's just one of those things where They have, I get it. They have to be careful what they do, but that's something that not only DLC can fix. If you're gonna change it, don't just come out and say, "Okay, guys, we fucked up. I'm sorry." Don't admit to it. Just say, "Hey, here's DLC. Fix your fucking problem."
Yeah.
Learn from this, Capcom. I want that ass slap back for Armika.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Oh my
and then the
God.
cami crotch shot.
And the Cammy crotch
I
shot.
don't
The
understand that one.
there was one where like she flips into like it was her entrance thing or whatever, and like as she like lands or whatever, the camera is at such a precarious angle that it's just kind of like a gratuitous. crotch shot.
100% Moose Knuckle as soon as
It's just all it was.
Like,
no,
it's
not
just-
Moose Knuckle,
no, that's the the
I was
other,
gonna say, I was like,
the other four-legged spitter,
the camel.
the camel toe, the la,
you four-legged spirit. There's a lot of things that come to mind.
the llama knee,
The llama.
the llama knee.
So, moving away from moose knuckles and llama knees and shit. So, did you guys hear about the Congressman Duncan Hunter?
I saw this. It came up on like my MSN news.
He didn't sell anything. He didn't buy anything. His son apparently bought $1,302 worth of Steam sales. And the best part is, Duncan Hunter was so quick just to say, "It was my son. He did it."
He bought 100 copies of Firewatch.
That's
Sent
exactly
it
what
to all
he
his
did.
friends like, "You need to play this
You
game."
need to play this game, guys.
He's like, "You guys check it out. It's fucking awesome." Well, the thing that happened is the games got purchased, and then they ended up showing up in their purchase log as personal and also to be paid back. Well, obviously they have to do some investigation and say, "What the fuck is this?"
Because wasn't that on his like expenditure account? Or
That
something?
was
That was from like donations and shit.
Oh yeah,
that
it was
from,
like campaign money.
campaign money. It was like
That's right.
taxpayer money, right?
That campaign money.
So you can't be doing.
That's
You
just
can't.
champagne money.
No matter how. No matter how
Sometimes I just
fire.
have to spit a real verse.
Yeah, there you go.
No matter how fire Steam sales are, don't use campaign money to buy games.
No shit.
There's been times where I'm like, I could probably sell my cat and get this really awesome game.
You don't think Bernie Sanders has been sitting there just going, "God, I want to play the Division."
I want to play it, and I can't because
I'll put
Donald Trump is ruining America.
And the banks, all the banks with all these tax. No, that's more Nixon.
And my health is at 1%. Anyway, but yeah, see, no one's safe
Free
here.
med packs.
Everyone.
Someone who goes to work for 40 hours a week should not have to live in a house they made in Skyrim. Anyway, or Fallout, because Fallout did that too.
For fuck's sake, Fallout.
Dude, by the way, I'm so over that game. I can't.
I bought all the DLC for $30. I'm okay with it still.
I can't get
I'm
it.
ready.
But yeah, no. So they bought all this shit. The son was thrown on the bus, and now they gotta pay it back. So let me ask you guys a question.
Which is just a drop in the bucket for that guy, honestly.
Oh, it really is. I mean, the fact that he's like, it was his fault. You remember the scene from fucking Dumb and Dumber where Lloyd is pointing at Harry, he's like, chewing his thumb and pointing at Harry like this?
yeah.
I just imagine that's how his dad was doing it. Like, it's his fault. Looking out the windows, like, what's going on here? I don't know. So yeah, he totally just threw his son under the bus. Did all that shit. He tried to block the credit card, but it didn't work. So here's the question. How would you have reacted?
Not well, but I mean, how would you spend $1,300 on Steam?
I can't, dude. I spend a game. I spent $30 in a game, and I'm
This
playing
is
that same
exactly
game.
what I would have said if I were that guy and like I saw my son purchase $1,300. I'd have been like, "What were you thinking? There's Steam sales. So you could have gotten more than that."
Well, the time period was, it could have been a Steam sale from
Well, no,
November
they
to
were
January.
They were all Steam sales from the month of October all the way into January. So you had a lot of stuff going there. You had the Chinese. Was it the Chinese New Year? Or was
the
that
Chinese New Year coming out in like this year. But no, seriously, how do you spend that amount of money? Like, it should have been way less.
Yeah.
Like, the Steam sales
That's
are
what I'm saying,
fucking
dude.
dope.
Like, no, what he did is he wasn't even fucking paying attention. He was hitting buy on the most expensive goddamn combo packs. Like, he had to buy.
How old was this kid?
I don't know. I think he said it was like 30 something.
30-something?
You know what? All the articles I read didn't actually give an age. I didn't.
That's
read
not a kid
over
at that point.
No.
Well,
that's a
an-
responsible adult.
That's an adult parasite.
I think here.
Are we looking it up right now?
I'm looking it up right now for you
Hold
guys.
on, guys. Google in progress.
So the
Googling
son,
in progress. We have to absolutely know what the fuck is going on with this guy.
Well, what I would say is that $1,300. I mean,
68 separate charges, by the way.
Holy crap!
Yes.
Like, how do you do that?
You have to be fucking awesome, apparently.
Like, cause like, I mean, I'll spend like, I mean, I think the most I spent on Steam for games at one time was maybe about $35, but I got about 10 games.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not something that you can just like, oh, I'm gonna just throw money at it and then I'm gonna get every single game that I want. But at the same time,
you gotta be tactful. Put shit on your watch
well,
list.
Exactly.
And here's
If
the
you want to get it for
absolute...
$8 off, fucking wait until January.
Here's the
yeah.
absolute best part about everything.
Gungeon's on my list and it's 10% off right now.
I need to
Shit.
get it right now.
I need
all
to get
those
that.
games that he bought were, of course, over the span of a couple months. We're already in April. He's talking to Steam to get the charges back.
Well, I will say this. When we worked at AppleCare, how many times did we see... I don't know about you, but like, you know, people would
I've
call
seen
in
like
and
a
they'll be like,
$700, yeah.
my kid, went on there and purchased fucking gems for $60 for some game, and
Goddamn
we have to
Clash of Clans.
chat it into to iTunes support, but sometimes they're like a month or two behind.
Yeah.
Like they see it on their credit card or whatever, and they're like, yeah, we finally looked at the transaction history, and they're like, what the fuck is this? But that's because so it's hard to pay attention to those little details like that. But you would think that being a political campaign, was it a campaign?
It was campaign funds.
That somebody would have had their eye on that.
Somebody's
one.
like, hey,
Well-
what the fuck are you doing giving Steam money over here?
Exactly.
Well, that's just because...
My guess is that they buy keys for Counter-Strike Go.
You know what? They might have... Well, it said 68 different products were purchased.
68 different products.
68 products. So, that could be a lot of things. That
That's
could
at least
be,
5 hours of gameplay.
Or at least one knife on fucking... on
Counter-Strike.
CSGO.
On CSGO, yeah.
No,
yeah, because I mean...
Or the
that's
same
pretty
knife 68 times.
Because Zebra Stripes.
Oh my god, this is the fucking best bit ever. Well, either way,
Has a
I'm
gold
sure...
hilt.
Huh?
Has a gold hilt.
I'm sure he's gonna get his ass whooped. And if he's an old enough gentleman, then I'm sure he's not gonna be able to use his daddy's credit card ever again.
I'm
think
hoping
it's
that
funny-
it's fraud.
I
That
think
they
it's
catch
funny
him
that the one picture they share of the senator is him like vaping.
Yeah, well, they call him the cool senator, like the cool vaping senator.
Sub-Home Senator.
Senator Sub-Home, remember that?
Yeah.
Senator Sub-Home.
It sounds like a superhero.
Oh my god, it does. Either that or a villain.
Or super villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
They're
leaning
going to be
towards
Senator
villain.
Sub-Home. I will now smoke on this train, in this car, in this building, and there's nothing you,
You
can
can't
do
stop
about
me.
it.
I'm an American.
It's like, actually, there's new ordinance saying in San Antonio you can't vape in the building. Sorry. Well, I'll go outside then.
Ordinances.
Trees are still good.
Or I'll just go to the fucking bathroom like any other goddamn American.
Everybody
I do
does
that at work all the time. Shh.
No. I walk in there and then like I see like plumes. I'm just like, somebody's fucking vaping.
Just listening to Afro Man in their headphones right there.
Yeah.
Goes like, ah.
Well, they're not. Okay. So
I know, Justin. It's just a
I
word.
mean, it's just a quip.
Yeah.
no, I'm saying that they're not really listening to Afro Man.
Right, just
All right, man.
proceed.
Hey.
So, lesson learned: don't buy 68 games at once.
Don't.
Or don't use taxpayer money to do that at least.
Yeah,
For sure. Don't ever do anything like that. So, the next thing we're going to discuss is going to be WrestleMania. You were at WrestleMania.
I was at
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania over the weekend.
We're not at WrestleMania, but we watched
You
it at a
guys
friend's
saw
house.
WrestleMania.
Thanks, Steven.
Thank you,
We use his
Steven.
WWE Network pass on PS4.
I gave him a cat sticker.
Good on, buddy. Pay that $9.99 a month.
So to start off, we were actually a little bit late. We started off in the during the first match, which is pretty cool. Actually, they were coming out.
They were just coming out that ladder match.
No,
So-
yeah, that ladder match was insane for
That was
one thing.
of all the matches, the ladder match was in my top 3.
Yeah, no, the ladder match is easily my favorite match of the weekend, because they had a whole bunch of different events going on in Dallas for WrestleMania. So you could go Friday, WrestleMania. You could go Thursday actually, and literally get 5 days of wrestling up until Monday.
Because they also did NXT Takeover.
They
Was
did
that
it.
in Dallas?
NXT Takeover in Dallas. That was at the
Was
convention
the ticket
center.
included in the price?
It was not. You have to purchase everything separately. I'm going to get to that in a few moments. So you had NXT Takeover there. You had WWE Access, which is kind of like their version of Comic-Con. But I'm going to get into a little bit more to that.
I've heard of that one.
They had the Hall of Fame. Then, of course, they had WrestleMania itself. And then they had Monday Night Raw on Monday.
Oh, that's right, because they did Monday.
So
the Raw after WrestleMania is always the best.
and it was actually a pretty lit episode. It was excellent. It was an excellent episode. I got to see it yesterday. So I went with my brother, his girlfriend, and our best friend Cortez. We've known Cortez since we were kids. So one of the highlights to this trip was Well, how vulgar do we want to get in this episode?
Fucking do what you want to do.
Okay. Well, okay. So if you have young children, or if you're a child yourself, I mean, you shouldn't be listening.
Or if
to
you're on
shit
Tumblr.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be listening to this. Justin's a registered sex offender. They won't even let him donate to Toys for
Okay, so
Tots.
seriously, shut the fuck up. Great. That's not true at all. I just want to point that out. Pete's just a fuck. Go ahead, Pete.
All right, so Cortez and I were constantly at each other's necks because we wanted to just gross each other the fuck out the entire weekend. So, I mean, it was like literally boiled down. Like, one of my favorite moments is like boiled down to like we're talking shit to each other pretty much constantly, and I'm just like, you know what, Cortez, I'll shit on your dick. And then he'd be like, you know what, Pete, I'll shit on your chest. And I'd be like, that's okay, I like that. I'll even rub it against my nipples and everything. So it was literally trying to outgross each other the entire time. To the point where he's just like, hey, like, grow up already. And so I like to think that I've won.
Yeah.
The gross off. So
I mean, when somebody tells you to grow up, that means that they got grossed out.
that's right. So I fucking won that. I just wanted to point out that
Congrats.
that was
Did you get a title belt?
No, I didn't, but I mean, I should have gotten the belt. Anyway, so we go over to Colleen Friday, and we stayed a night at Amanda's parents. That's my brother's girlfriend's. We stayed a night at their place. We see WWE or NXT Takeover, which was excellent. Shinsuke Nakamura is the king of strong style. You might have seen him on Facebook recently. Like, oh, hey, you got signed to NXT. It's a big deal, right? So this guy's like...
Being Japanese, right?
Well, I mean, him being so good at his craft, I guess. Not so much Japanese.
It was his debut in the States, wasn't it?
It was his debut in the States as, you know, an actual WWE wrestler. That's like making, like, you know, the major leagues in baseball, you know. So he puts on one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life with Sami Zayn on NXT TakeOver. Super excellent. So we see that, whatever. We go to Dallas the next day. We try to get into Access. So Access is Comic-Con for wrestlers, basically. But you pay for sessions. You don't pay for a full day.
Oh.
So it's super expensive. It's 4 hours for $55. But you get to meet wrestlers. You get to go to the museum. You get to have photo opportunities. You know, pretty much everything you can think of at Comic-Con.
You get to, like, Big Show, like, chest slap Ric Flair, and he goes...
Woo! And he goes, woo! No, you don't. But I mean, it gets pretty close to, I guess, being in the action. They have NXT shows in Access also. It was pretty cool because they had, you know, the NXT champion come out, which is like a huge surprise. They had a whole bunch of actually really good wrestlers.
Who's the NXT champion right now?
Finn Balor.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's insane, isn't he?
No, he's excellent. He's a really good wrestler.
Yeah, but like mentally.
Oh, mentally? I mean, I don't know. He seems pretty well rounded. Fun fact: he giggled at Access, and he sounded like a 12-year-old boy.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
With all that face makeup?
With all that face makeup. No, he wasn't wearing a face makeup. He came out with just a belt, like in his regular street clothes, and then he was doing a QA with the audience, which is cool. By the way, that QA was brutal for some of these guys because the little kids asking questions, they don't hold back, man.
Really?
They're just like, what?
Is it true you're a fucking asshole?
Like, why didn't you kick out in that one match with so-and-so 6 months ago? It seemed like he had the entire match, and then they're just like, I don't know how to answer this kid, man.
That's how it was scripted, bro.
Yeah. So they try to, you know, obviously keep the suspension of disbelief going for the fans. But no, I mean, I stayed in line 2 hours to meet Shinsuke Nakamura. 2 hours, literally.
God.
So 2 out of the 4 hours already.
I can't even stand being at work for 2 hours.
Exactly. You know, so we're there in line for Shinsuke Nakamura. We're about 15 people away even, for meeting this guy. And then he leaves because they cycle out all of the wrestlers midway through the session.
And who do you end up fucking meeting?
So I met American Alpha, which is not as good, but just as good as, I guess, in my heart, because, you know, they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Jason Jordan and what's his name, Gable. I always forget his
Clark.
No,
Clark Gable.
I think it's Matt Gable, actually. Anyway, super badass dudes. We get to meet them anyway, but that goes 2 hours out of the 4 hours that we were there. So the rest of the time we were, you know, just trying to get, you know, like merchandise going. We wanted to go check out the sites and everything, whatever. We're getting out of Access. We got an Uber over there, so I got a coupon. I got a free ride, basically.
I bet Uber was all over the place.
Uber was all over the place downtown.
Great.
When we get out, it was super, super bad with the surge. We got one of those dreaded surges. You ever hear about that on the Twitters and Facebooks where you have to pay like 15 times more for a ride from
yeah,
Uber.
yeah. That happened after Coheed.
That
I ended
happened-
up having to pay like $10 more.
Yeah, that happened after this also, so it was 3 times. So we had to wait about 30 minutes before, the surge would go down. And it even notify you, hey, it's cheaper now. Do you want to take a ride or not? So we waited. We got our ride back, which I had a coupon. So again, you got the ride for basically pennies. For free. And, we went back to the hotel. We rested up. Next day, I super broke my diet at first. Gained like 3 pounds from the fucking trip. But I had a really good breakfast. It was at least a half plate of bacon and, some eggs and shit.
Nice.
Anyway, going into WrestleMania, it was super high up. I've never been to the AT&T Stadium. Have you guys ever been to the AT&T Stadium?
No.
I've not been. I've heard.
I've only seen it in my dreams.
Okay, so for one thing, it doesn't look that big on the outside, but when you get inside of it, it's freaking tall. Pretty much every square foot of that place was thought out methodically. You go up these ramps, right, and you literally have to go up like 20 ramps to get to where we're seating. It's super high up. But
How expensive was beer? I'm afraid to ask, but how expensive?
beer was about $15.
Good
Fuck,
God.
man.
Well, you know what? I think that's more of a stadium thing
It
because
is
I've
still.
talked to people who've been to the Holy Land of Cowboy Stadium there, and have told me that
Jerry's World.
Jerry's World, which he probably was there just plotting, and like Vince McMahon was kissing his rings. Or something.
Probably, yeah, he probably was.
But yeah, I've heard it's like, yeah, $15 a beer. I said, nope. I'll just drink rainwater. Whatever pulls up behind the seat.
Or the Tears of Rome.
The Tears of
Sorry.
Romo, yeah.
Like I made a joke, it's like that the dome half opens so God may lay his healing hands over Tony Romo.
Oh.
Well, we're so high up, we're practically eye level with the 50-yard television.
Nice.
Which is nice because we get to watch the entire thing on TV as if we're at home.
Right.
But we're
you
also
paid a
there.
lot of money
But
for
we
it.
paid a lot of money. It was $150 per ticket. Which shout out to my brother. He footed the cost for everything as far as the tickets go. So
I
he's
heard
a
like floor
badass.
seats were like $1,300.
Floor seats were expensive. The front row was $2,400.
Fuck that, man.
Yeah. So but just the experience of being there, getting to interact with the crowd, and everybody's like pretty passionate about
Getting
it.
to talk shit to Chris Jericho.
Getting to talk shit about Chris Jericho. I really wanted AJ Styles to win that match, but
Apparently
hey.
everyone did. But that's the underdog story for him is he's gonna come back. He's gonna get his.
Well, speaking of underdog stories, the guy who won the ladder match, Zack Ryder, Andy and I marked out hardcore. Like, we were, like, super excited about him winning that shit. Because, like, literally, he deserves it. And then he lost it the next night at Monday Night Raw. Which
Did he really?
Yeah, he really did, yeah.
Oh.
So, this is what WrestleMania is. It's the start of old feud, or the end of old feuds and the start of new ones. So, that's what the Monday's for, the after that. But yeah, it was excellent. We were right behind the stage, so we could see all the pyro, like eye level also. And I can't even begin to tell you how awesome it was. The women's championship triple threat match was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. Sasha Banks came out and actually did like Eddie Guerrero moves, and she was wearing Eddie Guerrero pants.
Yeah.
So it was super cool, like super throwbacks to everything. And then of course a little bit later in the show, you got to see Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mick Foley
The
run out.
absolute best part of that entire match is, first of all, what was the teams called?
New Age and
It was the New Day and the League of Nations.
New Day.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the League of Nations comes out, they basically have a squash match with the New Day, which is bullshit because the New Day should have won.
They came out as super.
They
safe.
came
but
out as super safe.
But dude, I'm just saying that they really beat the one guy was not a good wrestler. Was not the best out of them,
Right.
and they did a good job of isolating him from everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Because once
was
Kofi
kind
Kingston got in there, he was like wrecking shop.
He was wrecking shit. So
I was
was
kind of
Biggie.
rooting for the League of Nations just because they were doing really good. But once they beat New Day, and then they came up there and said we're the absolute best of the podcast. Excuse me, we're the absolute best of the. You can't beat us. We're the best tag team ever.
See, yeah, that dialogue itself just proved that people were going to come out. As soon as they said, there's no 3-person team in history that could beat us or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so they're going to have to bring out some fucking... And I was going through my mind, I was like, what are some, kick-ass, 3 people, and...
As soon as HBK's music came on, I was like, that sound. That's a name I have not heard in some time.
That's a name I haven't heard in some
HB came out looking great.
Dude,
by
he
the
came out
way.
looking fantastic.
He was like the best shape of his
was
life. I was like,
almost
holy
positive.
Well, definitely in better shape than DDP.
crap. Definitely better. Who also came out? And Shaquille O'Neal.
Tanaka.
And Tatanka.
Tatanka.
Yeah.
Tatanka.
Okay, but
Tatanka.
yes.
Anyway, so I was like, who's going to come out next? I was thinking there's no way it's going to happen, but what if we were about to see a DX reunion?
Right.
Like maybe Triple H would come out. I don't know. There's no way I was going to see X-Pac because he's gone and dead. He's somewhere else. He's probably in Mexico like drinking horse shit. But
with China.
With China.
China.
They're actually not even married anymore.
They're not even married now.
Yeah,
Not
no,
at all.
she's off doing
I'm
something
not
else.
even
Like,
disappointed.
whatever she
Someone
does.
else.
So with all this being said, I was like, who could it be? I was like, well, Triple H. First of all, I mean, he's part of DX. And then I was also thinking maybe either Road Dogg or
Jesse James. Or Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. Any of them, right?
Right.
And then Mick Foley's music came on. It took me a second because I didn't recognize it right away. And I looked down.
And then you see, like,
I see the smiley face and shit.
And you see
Yeah.
the graphics and stuff like that on the screen.
And I was like, what the fuck? He's like forever old. And that was great seeing him come out. And then when you see him do this, I'm like, who is it gonna be? And then that glass shatter, we were all screaming in that house.
Yeah, no, I lost my voice after that because I screamed so loud.
We all knew The Rock was going to make an appearance because I guess he had like tweeted or
He did tweet, and
something
then
like
he had
that.
been on the show earlier also, I guess like Monday Night Raw. So, everybody knew The Rock was going to come out. But, I mean, I had an inkling that Stone Cold would come out. I was telling my brother, actually, because they usually make these really long promos at WrestleMania. Like, super long. Like, to where it's, like, ad nauseum. Like, you're already getting tired of this shit. But they didn't do any promos. So I thought Stone Cold maybe come out like, hey, I'm the Texas Rattlesnake, blah, blah, blah. Drink beer, fuck fear. But, no, he didn't do that, which was weird. But he didn't need to because, come on, we're in Dallas Stadium.
The really, really, really neat part about all this that I was super excited about was just seeing the Stone Cold Stunner again.
like 5 times.
And
Like
five
five times.
And the best part is like we were sitting there and we were watching with people. I know Steven's been watching wrestling for a while, but
For a
Jared
long
didn't
time.
really watch wrestling.
He didn't know. Oh my god! Every 10 seconds, he's like, "Who's that? What's going on?" It's like, pick your face up out of your phone and watch.
But
Because
aside from the fact that he was being a terrible host. So Jared's gonna hear this and be like, "Why you call me a terrible host on the phone on the podcast?" So we're sitting here watching this, and it happens. You get Mr. Sacco, you get some Sweet Chin music, and you get a Stone Cold Stunner. And when A New Day came up and started teaching them how to dance, and I saw HBK do it, I'm like, this is getting weird. And I saw Mick Foley do it, totally in his character to do something weird like that. And then I saw that little dude getting really close to Stone Cold.
Xavier Woods, yeah, with Stone Cold Steve
And
Austin.
Brandon said it first, but I was thinking the same thing because this don't feel right. Brandon's like, you never cornered a rattlesnake, and then all of a sudden he Stone Cold, he stuns him. I'm like, yeah, that's what makes him awesome.
yeah.
So,
and then he drank a metric fuck ton of beer.
Yeah, it was awesome. What you don't see on TV is where they have to clean up all that beer. So they had like 20 people cleaning up everything.
Oh my God.
After that. When Sasha Banks came out for her match, she had like maybe about 4 tons of glitter come from the ceiling.
Oh my god!
And yeah, it took them the entire duration of the match and then a little bit after to clean that up.
from like the ramp and everything.
From like the ramp and everything basically in between all of that.
Not to mention Shane McMahon's dollar bills everywhere.
Holy crap, that was an incredible match. Shane McMahon still got it, man.
Yeah, the Undertaker is underwhelming.
oh,
He is. I mean,
Oh, what was Steven calling him the entire time? The overgiver?
I mean, he was literally like way too old to be wrestling.
I agree.
There's talk of him retiring.
He sells really well. Like, he's been in the game so long that, and by sell, I mean like the moves and stuff like that. He makes it a little believable.
He's like one of the
Yeah.
only people too who has like 50 fucking finishing moves.
Well, and what, this was WrestleMania 32, and he's been in like 25 of them.
He's been in like 25 of them.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I hate to say it's time to retire, but go out on top. when you're still.
I kept giving Stella shit at work. I kept saying Shane O'Mac should have won.
He should have.
I did too.
It may make for a more interesting story arc though with him losing, because there was I don't recall him saying that he had to win the match.
Well,
He just said he had to face the Undertaker in Hell in a Cell.
he had to win the match in order to take over Raw on Monday. Shane ended up doing it anyway.
He still ended up taking over.
He let him. Vince was just like, okay, go for it.
Well, yeah, because that's his baby boy.
That's his baby boy. He
Right.
wasn't gonna say no.
It's a hell of 70.
But
Seeing her get speared was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no, actually, we didn't even see that part because before that match was over, we had to get back to the pickup point for our shuttle from the hotel. So we walked all the way downstairs and we saw like kind of some of the match. Let me tell you, if you didn't see that thing live, if you see it now on the WWE Network, people are not cheering Roman
No,
Reigns.
we heard it.
No.
It was all booze.
It was loud in there. Like, the amount of boos that I heard was like, I mean, I can imagine whenever they wheel out Romo on a little thingy, that's exactly what happens.
Oh, when they wheel him out, like when he gets injured?
Well, yeah, when he hurts his pinky or something, whenever he's throwing a football.
His pinky's calling him.
Go eat a dick.
But anyway, no, yeah, and there's a bit of controversy about that actually because you watch it now on the WWE, on the actual network, and they've muted the boos.
Have they?
They've muted the boos, yeah.
No, I mean when we were watching it, like it was very, very audible.
Dude, and
he's kind of cheesy.
Dude, the whole fucking arm cock thing and punch in the ground.
Nobody
I swear
likes
to
Roman
God.
He did like 4 Superman punches.
Yeah.
Stop it,
They're going to definitely give AJ Styles the belt coming up soon. He's the #1 contender. It's gonna be a good series, at least for this year.
What's the name of the guy that fought Batista? Not Batista. He fought Brock Lesnar.
Dean Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Dude's insane.
Dude's great. He's awesome.
What do I always say he looks like Bruce Springsteen to me. He comes out in like blue jeans and he's like the working man wrestler.
He is a working man wrestler. Yeah, he used to be part of the stable with Roman Reigns and then the other guy, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, because they came from NXT together. I was reading up a little bit on that just so I can know where they were coming from. But they were all wrestling together in Florida, and they came from NXT from NXT to like WWE together, and they were kind of like a squad to fight against injustice.
Right.
They weren't heels, they weren't baby faces. They were just
straight down gray in the middle. So I could see them taking the belt from Roman, giving it to AJ Styles. AJ Styles has his own stable that they're working on.
You think he's gonna get the belt like that?
I think he's gonna get the belt soon because the amount of ire that everybody has for that dude is ridiculous. I mean, he's not a good champion. He's definitely not champion
Well, they're
material.
also like, let's just point out here.
They could have given it to Dean Ambrose, is what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure during his match with Triple H, when he did his shitty arm cock and he punches the ground, I'm pretty sure I heard him go douche.
Oh my god!
I swear to God, he made his own little explosion sound, and because of that, you can't make your own sound effects in wrestling. You need to go home. And then he also has his.
Yeah, he does that little wolf howl. Okay, so what you guys didn't see also on TV is that Triple H and Stephanie, I mean, they're heels. They come out and they're just like, hey, we hate you guys. You're all puppets.
Because they're the corporation.
Because they're the corporation. They broke character to actually calm down the crowd.
Really?
At the end of the show.
How did they do?
They came out there and just like, coming out and, Stephanie's raising Triple H's arm. They go out into like around the ring and they start like shaking people's hands and everything else. And then they're just like, Triple H, they're actually cheering him.
Yeah. No, we heard a lot of loud audible cheers for him. But it's also because he's been around for so long.
Dude,
he's one of the last remnants of the Attitude Era.
He is.
And he's fucking huge. He's terrifying. I don't like him bald, but whatever.
I don't know. I think with longer hair, he looked totally better. But with bald, he kind of has more of a menacing feel to him.
He does look more menacing. I got to give it to him.
Like a junkyard dog.
Well, that was somebody else.
Oh.
Anyway,
that's Why wasn't Jim Adler there? Like he should have been a guest wrestler.
I don't know.
The Texas Hammer.
That would have been perfect.
You know what? Well, seriously, JR is missing. I miss JR.
Oh, you know who I don't miss is freaking Jerry Lawler.
the King Lawler.
I love Jerry.
King Lawler. Puppies. He's the reason that the Divas became such a the thing that it was. They weren't like
they're not Divas anymore.
I know, that's the great
thing.
They're
women's championship.
What I'm saying is like it just became this hypersexualized thing, and they didn't seem. Nobody took their talent as seriously back then,
right?
Because they came out.
All they did
was just
talk
like
about
a cat
their puppies,
fight, and he would just be like puppies, which is weird thing for a grown man to say,
right?
In the first place, and then JR is like, "My God, man!"
But didn't Sable make up the term puppies?
Probably.
But that was also back in the day when they still weren't known as divas. Divas didn't happen until closer to the PG era.
Right.
True.
And back in the day, they were female. They were women's wrestlers.
I want to say divas was a thing then. Still,
I don't know. I couldn't see Sable as a diva because she was way too like hardcore into that weird shit. But
not as cool as Lita.
Not as cool as who also came out.
She did. She still has a square jaw. Her head looks like a piece of bread.
Like she's on like the Sports Center thing, like in the middle of the like the show or the broadcasting or whatever. Like it was like her and Booker T and two people I'd never.
You think Booker T was there 5 times? Sometimes.
Maybe. Maybe.
So, we could talk about wrestling all night. It seems like, and again, this may need to be an episode or possibly even a series we make. Who knows? I don't know how serious I am.
I'll bring the steel chairs.
Yeah,
I'll bring.
If
I'll
I
bring
actually started watching wrestling
chair.
more, I could probably I'd talk about it. With
It's
you.
definitely interesting. I mean, I try to watch as much as possible, but I mean, really, when you really think about it, there's only so much wrestling you can take at one time. You know.
Well, some of the people were just like Stardust. I mean, come on.
I mean,
and then what was Stardust and then Ziggy Dust?
No, Stardust is the.
I know,
You're
but
thinking
the other guy.
Goldust.
Goldust.
Oh,
that's
Stardust,
his brother.
Okay, there
Yeah,
you go.
Sting retired.
Yeah, Sting retired over the weekend as well.
Which, by the way, he looks exactly like you'd think he would without makeup.
he does, right?
Like it's
Yeah.
weird. Like a lot of people
He's
who
got
wear
that little
makeup.
flavor saver.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like when he came out, I was like, is he wearing like pale makeup or? No.
Like-
He looks like Gene Simmons.
He looks like a cooler version of my dad.
We'll come back to wrestling, like later on in the next
Come
another
back to
episode.
Texas.
We got a few more things to discuss before we call it a night. First thing, the division is finally getting an update that's gonna show in-game content. It's getting incursions. It's getting new gear score options. It's getting new gear. I don't know anything about weapons, but I know for sure it's gonna get new armor pieces. Now, before I let you go on and say that it's good, it's the greatest game ever made.
It's excellent. I love it.
Here's the thing. I loved this game when it came out. But it was too repetitive, too easy to get to early in-game content, like challenge mode. I had challenge mode on farm the second day I beat a challenge mode.
See, that's your problem, though. See, I like to chew my steak.
I like to chew my steak too, but the fact of the matter is, when there's not a whole lot of goddamn steak, you want to hurry and eat that
When
so
you
you
get
get
that,
the
when
other
you get
stuff.
that 8-ounce fillet.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
I can stretch 6 ounces, no problem.
If I was playing with friends, which you were almost never on anyway, or at least we were never on at the same time.
Right, yeah, I would get on way later.
If I was playing with friends, it was different. But when I was playing by myself, it got boring. I just did side missions. I have everything set to 100%.
Oh, so you did your side missions, but not your main missions?
I did my main man.
You
I
did your
everything.
dailies.
Dude, I did everything, right? So this new update is gonna bring in assignments. It's gonna bring in the incursions. It's gonna bring in some new content. So maybe I'll look into get into it again.
I need to. I mean,
You haven't even played it.
I haven't played it yet because, I mean, it's the days that I'm off now. We try to do as much as possible outside of the house, simply because
You're gonna be dead.
Yeah,
You're gonna have time. You're gonna have time to play games eventually.
Exactly, but like in the not too distant
Kinda.
future, we're gonna have to spend a little more time home and stuff like that because we're gonna have those kind of responsibilities. So at the moment, like when we have days off, we try to fill it with as much out of the house stuff as possible.
As much
whether that
freedom
means-
as possible.
Yeah, like
Well,
just
no,
before
all
you get
Pedro
to
does is play games and then tells me they're great and then they're really not that great and he
I
tries
love-
to defend them in a poor way.
I love the Division only because it's not Destiny. It doesn't piss me off like any other game does. Except ad nauseum with the stupid fucking shotgun guys.
Dude,
I hate those.
seriously.
guys.
And have you been playing challenge modes?
I've been playing challenge mode.
Dude,
So
how much bullshit? The LMB has like these fucking steel-balled shotgunners who are like, hey, there's 4 guys with guns, run in.
and then
you know,
and then one shot you from like 10 feet away because like they have sniper rifle
they have
shotguns.
like this choke that's like a fucking like a goddamn sniper rifle.
just go.
It's literally. I was gonna say something gross. I won't say it. Anyway,
It's as narrow as Hank Hill's urethra.
yeah,
Anyway,
something like that. But no, yeah, I like the game. I mean, I've not got everything that I want to get out of it, and I mean, I don't really farm the challenge modes or anything like that.
We were talking about this at work. One of the things that made this game too easy to play is the fact there's a lack of any real character depth. Okay? So, for anyone who's listening at home who is familiar with the Division, or if you're not, there's a method in Division and a lot of other RPGs called min-maxing. It's where you minimize one stat and you maximize the other. So in this case, I minimized health and maximized DPS. Well, because of my gear, I was still able to maintain a high level of health. I have like 50k health. But because of all the DPS I was putting in, now my AK-47 DPS is putting out 149k. So I go into challenge rows and I fucking wreck shop, but I'm as fragile as a goddamn Fabergé egg.
Glass cannon.
Glass cannon, exactly. So, that method kind of ruined the game, I think. I think it's a neat method because it allows people to play the character the way they want to.
You can technically make builds.
Yeah, but there's still... It's so freeform that sometimes the best freedoms are the ones that... the best decisions are the ones you make for us.
Goodness,
Yeah.
are you saying that the game has too much freedom?
I'm saying that there's no...
How about more restrictive kind of gameplay that you got in Destiny?
What I'm saying is that while I do not wish to have a tech tree, or I don't want to have an actual tree of talents where I have to follow on specific parts, a little more boundaries would be helpful. And the only reason I say that is because even when I go into the dark zone, if I get the drop on you, you're gone.
Right.
You're gonna be blown away. Whether it be my marksman rifle or my Vector or my AK-47. Which, by the way, Vectors, those need to get toned down big time.
Well, I have an AUG pair that's only purple, and it's, beasting people when you get into the actual dark zone.
My Vector does, I told you at work, does 147k DPS in that area. And the reason it does that is because it does it automatically, just by using it, gives me a 21% critical strike extra chance.
Right.
Plus, I have 3 other attachments that add in like 17% critical strike chance. So I'm constantly critting. I tear down armored enemies.
Did you crit your pants?
I crit my pants hard. I'm constantly critting enemies in challenge mode.
Did you hit it and crit it?
I hit it and crit it. All those fun, nonsensical ways to talk. So, I'm just saying, this new expansion, maybe they're going to add some ways to balance things out.
Nothing they can't fix the patches, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not saying they can't fix it.
The Division isn't perfect as a game. Is it enjoyable? Hell yeah. I love it.
It's enjoyable if you are willing to wait for your friends to get online and play just with friends. But other than that, playing by yourself sucks.
It's like Words of Friends, except better.
Except you actually have to. Well, I mean, either case, you don't have to have friends. You can just get randos.
Which
randos are actually okay on the PC version, and I guess they're amazing on the Xbox One version. But I mean, I don't have it. I only have Master Race, so I'm waiting for the new expansions. I got them on sale for what, $28. I'm happy about that.
We'll see what happens.
You already bought the expansions?
I already bought them. Yeah,
well, this one's gonna be a free one.
Yeah, this new one's just gonna be an update, but it's gonna be a pretty beefy update.
And after that, we'll see the other ones come out, the Underground or something like that.
Speaking of beefy gamers is playing it all week. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, go and check that stream.
He is playing it, isn't he?
Yeah.
I should. He plays on PS4 though. I was gonna say maybe I should jump in there and
check it out anyway.
Show him how to do it. No, I was kidding. So a couple more things to bring to attention before we bid you adieu.
Adjourn.
Star Wars came out on Blu-ray.
Thanks for stealing my thunder.
Gotcha.
Star Wars came out on Blu-ray yesterday.
Go pick it up.
Go pick it up.
They have deleted scenes. They have 21 minutes of deleted scenes?
No, only at Target.
Only at Target.
Only at Target. If you're going to pick it up, buy it at Target. If you're not going to pick it up, or perhaps maybe you're going to pick it up and you want something a little bit more fancy, Steelbooks. The Steelbook for Captain Phasma is over at Best Buy.
Fuck yeah. I'm only buying it at Best Buy then.
I still stand by my comment that they made a really badass character and they threw her in the fucking trash.
Dude, okay, they said that she's going to be back in the...
They literally
She's going to be back in the next episode. She's going to be back in the next episode. Don't worry about it.
They were just like, oh, this
Besides, no one's going to throw Brianna Tarth away like that.
Nope. Nobody.
Speaking of Brianna Tarth, we have Game of Thrones and Silicon Valley coming out again in the next couple of months. Actually, no, it's this month. The end of this month, April 24th.
Yep.
Which I'm really excited because the fact
that Jon Snow is apparently not dead.
Of course not.
But
we knew that.
But is dead.
We knew that.
We get to see a much more fleshed out story for Brianna Tarth. They said she goes nuts. In this episode, she goes ham, so this time she's going to kick some more ass. Not saying that she hasn't already kicked
She traditionally does kick a lot of ass.
She killed the Hound.
She did.
Holy shit. Just keep in mind, we never saw a dead body. We can assume he's dead.
He's dead.
Come on.
Look,
come on.
You also never saw what's his name's dead body, Stannis, but he did.
Yeah, he did. You don't know that.
Well,
yes,
actually,
you do.
They kind of did a. Well, I mean, do you guys care about Walking Dead spoilers?
She does.
Never mind. But
well, so look.
I haven't been watching it.
All that happened is she walked up to Stannis, and then that was it. That was it. It never showed her swing. It never showed her head drop.
Oh,
it never.
You know she's not gonna let Stannis.
I understand, but also she's a knight by strict moral code. Granted,
and that code is to
she killed the Hound.
So Renly Baratheon died. She's gonna kill Stannis.
She killed the Hound.
She didn't fucking kill the Hound. Anyway, so it's not.
She was gonna climb down there. And
there's some cool stuff that's gonna happen in the next season. We're gonna see. I can't wait to see what happens with what's her face, Arya.
She's blind now?
She's blind. She's like a multi-faced alien monster.
Wait, when did she go blind?
At the very end.
Did she go blind at the very end?
They took her
she
eyes
didn't
out.
go blind, but when you look at her in the new screenshots, her eyes are all cloudy and blue.
So
but they showed that.
So she's a ward.
No.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's not say anything beyond that, because she could be.
Maybe we'll
Well,
find
no,
out.
actually, time out. No, you're right. There's no way she could be a warg. She's not like, no.
Well, how do you know?
Well, okay, I don't
Her
know
brother's
that.
a fucking warg.
I don't know that, but then she's not going to be walking around looking at people changing shit.
She's a faceless man and a warg.
Faceless warg.
Okay, so
Faceless warg.
you're not allowed to drink or watch the show anymore.
Hopefully,
And then,
we'll finally learn a little bit more about Braun's storyline.
Yeah, I hope we do, because I'm getting tired of... Actually, I think they said we're going to. I don't know. Apparently, they're bringing back a few... they're bringing a few guest writers
Sorry,
in.
not Braun, Bran. You know, yeah.
They're bringing a few guest writers in.
Braun.
They're bringing in Ned Stark. He's to be the head of writing. They also have Prince Oberyn to bring some insight into it. And I also heard that Jaime Lannister's going to lend a hand. So
Where'd you read those?
oh,
Yo, you made him up at work and pissed off
Did you
Jennifer
really?
with those.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
I could be funny when I want to.
impressed. Yeah, you can also work on your Game of Thrones raps while you're at it.
We're going to talk about that some other day, too. So, other show coming out, Silicon Valley, comes out. This should be the same day.
Haven't seen the first two seasons.
You gotta see it. It ended on such a great cliffhanger. We get to find out. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it already. We get to find out if he is still the owner of his own company.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. That's not very fun when you get ousted from your own
Corporate intrigue.
Yeah.
shit. Indeed.
That show started getting really, really good
And-
in season 2.
We have one last thing to discuss, and this is a doozy. We won't spend too much time on it because of the fact that I think we all have the same opinion. But Doom is gonna get fucking map packs.
How could
that.
you?
Fuck.
So Bethesda is coming out, and already arguably one of the hardest genres to make a good game in nowadays. Back then, you can make a shooter, slap fucking Call of Duty, you're gonna send millions.
The problem I have with them making DLC is that Doom 3 didn't need DLC, they had expansion.
That's what I'm saying. In this case, they could have just done expansions. They could have done another solid for people.
Because, you know,
No.
I mean, to be honest, expansions are tasteless, or tasteful DLCs.
Tasteful.
Definitely tasteful DLCs.
Well, keep in mind, they still have the opportunity to release expansions for Doom. Doesn't mean they're not going to. But the problem is these expansion or these map packs, are scheduled to have stuff like additional maps. Go figure, map packs. They're gonna have new weapons, new of those hack modules, which are bullshit, fucking just perks anyway.
Again, pay to win.
And they're also gonna have new demon types we can play in multiplayer.
Mancubus, anybody?
Maybe.
Or Pinky.
I want.
Pinky.
You know, I really just want to be able to play as the cyber demon. That'd be really cool.
The flying thing?
Dude, no, the cyber demon, the guy at the very end, right? The guy with the big old gun that goes.
Oh.
Floats around on the thing.
You mean Diablo?
I guess, kind of.
Yeah, I'm pretty much Diablo.
Pretty much Diablo. He's like, I shall taste your flesh. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so Doom is pissing a lot of people off, and rightly so. Hopefully,
Well, all the teaser trailers and stuff like that still look hella fun.
they look bad.
Makes the game look gory. It makes it look so.
60
pre-ordered
frames per
fast-paced.
second on every single thing you buy it for. so
I pre-ordered it on PC. I'm gonna play the hell out of it. It's just whether or not the multiplayer is gonna be worth it. I shit you not though. If this release of map packs is any indication how the single player is gonna turn out,
I'm gonna wait.
I'm gonna be pissed off.
I'm gonna wait. I can't buy a single thing
If
from
I buy
Bethesda
if I buy a 7-hour campaign in Doom
Yeah,
and
no.
they say go play multiplayer, that's where the fun's at, haha, money grab. Then I'm gonna keep the Revenant statue, but I'll uninstall Doom.
No thanks, Activision.
Bethesda. Anyway,
Motherfucker.
So that is our show for today. If you guys have any questions or comments, obviously hit us up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have all of them. We don't have Tumblr because
Tumblr.
Tumblr's terrible.
No, bro. I mean, we flirted with the idea.
As a joke.
No, I mean,
Did you?
No. We were thinking about it,
And I
but
swear to God, one day we'll get that website
as
up.
a serious outlet. But yeah, I guess some real progress is being made towards getting a website up.
Yeah.
so
Frank's
there's
setting
that.
that up, right? Frank and Jared are doing that?
Frank and Jared are doing that. I
They're
guess.
doing something.
They're doing a thing.
Eventually, once that gets up, you'll be able to find us there too. But just remember to like, comment, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, especially Twitter, because Twitter is where all the fun shit happens. And then also keep an eye out for all the fun stuff we have in store, i.e. probably just a few more episodes. Not more than a few more episodes. You know, look out for our Facebook page for streams. And make sure you check out some of our friends at Beefy Gamers and
Radiophonics.
for any other fun stuff.
They did float the goat.
They did float the goat, and I got floated. So, my name is Justin.
My name is Justin also.
I'm also Justin.
You guys are not Justin. You guys are imposters. And this is Alamo City Geek Speak.
One of us.
Peace.
One of us.
Deuces hoes.
One.